Welcome back to Bourbon Country Reacts and a special Veterans Day edition.
Yeah. What is it? Which one?
Um, what do you mean, which one?
Which song are we doing for?
So we're doing big. Let's get into that here in a second.
Okay, well, let's tell them what we're doing first.
So yeah, if you're new here, he's Dustin. I'm Keith.
Hi.
He's a bourbon guy. I'm kind of a music guy.
You're also a bourbon guy.
I'm also a bourbon
You
guy.
guys are making me into a music guy.
Yeah, you're teaching us a lot of cool country music, that's for sure.
Yeah, what's interesting is you're actually teaching you some cool country music, too.
We've actually seen that in the comments where you guys have been like, I've never heard this song before. It's an awesome song. Yeah, so, yeah, it's kind of a big sharing of country music. Works
Both ways.
both ways.
So, but before we get into the song, we got the bourbon.
What have we got here?
So this one.
Oh, I recognize that label. You
Right.
have my attention.
I think you said the first time we saw this, it's something down by the van,
Yeah.
by the river, the van, because
The label looks like something you buy out of the back of a van down by the river from a sketchy dude in a Molly Hatchet t-shirt.
but this is a bigger bottle than we are used to seeing.
I could only find little bottles.
Right, I found a bigger bottle here locally, and also it's a cork top, not a screw top.
Well, that's new.
Right. So this is, for those of you who don't know or aren't familiar with this label, what the hell we're talking about, Kings County Distillery.
So good.
What we've had so far from them has blown our socks off.
So damn good.
Yep. And this one is their peated bourbon.
I've never had a peated bourbon, so let me explain what peated means.
Yeah, you
So-
do that real quick. It's 90 proof while I open it up.
So, Scotch makers in particular like to smoke their grains over peat fires
Yeah.
for a varying period of time. They can add a little smoke flavor or a lot of smoke flavor. And somehow through the distillery process, that smoke flavor, excuse me, makes it through to the final product. Now, I like really smoky scotches, very peaty scotches.
Troy.
No, the Lagavulin.
Oh, no, you've got that other one, the that you always have, 18-year.
Probably the Talisker, maybe.
Talisker.
Yeah, very peaty. The Lagavulin, though, is the peatiest that I normally have. And it's like drinking a campfire. And I actually like that. Some of you may hate it.
Feel that cork.
It feels like a solid chunk of steel. Not, I mean, that's an
tungsten.
ounce of steel.
It's like tungsten. Because, tungsten feels heavier than with the...
Yeah, it does. That's really bizarre.
Yeah, so...
So apparently, to make a peated bourbon, and this is an assumption on my part,
yeah, we don't know anything about it.
they smoked the corn and rye and whatever else they put in that mash over peat, like they were making scotch.
That'd be cool.
Well,
Or...
I've kind of found that when you mix bourbons and scotches in the same glass, what it tastes like is a really, really bad scotch in the end.
Okay.
So
Well, we'll see what we get.
we'll see what. Yes,
They haven't disappointed us yet.
Not this distillery. Their stuff so far has been incredible.
Yep.
So we mentioned earlier that this is a special Veterans Day edition from Bourbon Country Reacts.
Yep.
Thought about doing one for the Marine Corps birthday, but we've already done Semper Fi by Trace Adkins. If there's another Marine Corps related song, country song that you guys know about, tell us about it, and maybe we'll get it done prior to November 10th. Because I'm gonna tell you that on November 10th, I'm gonna be in a bar somewhere with a bunch of drawerheads,
Yep. A bunch of drunk heads.
bunch of
Drinking delicious whiskey, smoking awesome cigars, having a good old time.
It is what we do.
Yeah.
So as a Veterans Day special here, we're doing one of your requests, pretty highly requested. It's Big and Rich's 8th of November. And I've done a little bit of research on Wiki. I kind of wanted to know, okay, what happened on the 8th of November that's, song worthy. And it turns out that there was a pretty big operation in Vietnam in 1965 with the 503rd Infantry Regiment. They're part of the 173rd Airborne. It looks like they had some Australians with them, and I guess it later became known as the Battle of Gang Toy. And from the Wikipedia article, at one point, apparently a full Viet Cong regiment had the American and Australian forces completely surrounded. So that would have been a shit show of epic proportions.
I think that was in a movie. That sounds really familiar.
There have been some movies on this stuff. I don't know if this is, if Hamburger Hill or one of the other movies was about this particular operation. But anytime you're encircled by enemy forces, I've never been in that position, but one would think it would be a fairly uncomfortable proposition. The thing is, if you talk to the guys that have been in that position, like the guys from the Band of Brothers, it's like no member of that unit has ever admitted that they needed rescued at Bastogne. And if you talk to Marines that were at the Chosin Reservoir, they're just going to quote Chesty Puller and tell you that, well, we're surrounded. That simplifies the problem of finding these people and killing them.
That's where Chesty comes from.
Chesty's a Marine Corps legend. Okay. We pray to Chesty. So,
okay.
He was a hard
you have to
dude.
Tell me more about him.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn there.
Yeah.
Anyway, this song apparently is about the Battle of Gang Toy. Apparently there were a lot of U.S. and Australian casualties, and a shit ton of VC were killed there, which that's a good thing.
All right.
But let's
check it out.
Let's check the song out.
Big and Rich. The last one we did theirs was really fun. I've heard this one's not as fun.
Songs about combat tend to not really be fun.
Right.
But so yeah, I wouldn't expect fun here. Let's see what we get though.
Hello, I'm Chris Christopherson. On November 8, 1965, the 173rd Airborne Brigade on Operation Hump, War Zone D in Vietnam, were ambushed by over 1,200 VC. 48 American soldiers lost their lives. Severely wounded and risking his own life, Lawrence Joel, a medic, was the first living black man since the Spanish-American War to receive the United States Medal of Honor for saving so many lives in the midst of battle that day. Our friend Niles Harris, retired 25 years in the United States Army, the guy who gave Big Kenny his top hat, was one of the wounded who lived. This song is his story. Caught in the action of kill or be killed, greater love hath no man than to lay down his life for his brother.
Names on the wall.
Said goodbye to his mom as he left South Dakota to fight for the red, white, and blue. He was 19 and green with a new M16, just doing what he had to do. He was dropped in the jungle where the choppers would rumble with the smell of napalm in the air. Then the sergeant said, look up ahead. Like a dark evil cloud, 1,200 came down on him and 29 On the 8th of November, the angels were crying as they carried his brothers away. With the fire raining down and the hell all around, there were few men left standing that day. On the 8th of November, the angels were crying as they carried his brothers away. With the fire raining down and the hell all around, there were few men left standing that day. Saw the eagle fly through a clear blue sky, 1965, the 8th of November. Left South Dakota to fight for the red, white, and blue. He was 19 and green with a new M16, just doing what he had to do.
It's an interesting tune, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, and I guess that's appropriate. It focuses on the sacrifice. But the reality is those guys kicked a bunch of ass in those 3 days. They were overwhelmingly outnumbered, and they cleaned the VC's clocks.
Yep. And what I kind of, one of the things I got from it is that they also emphasized was these are just good old boys from South Dakota, or just
in Indiana and West Virginia and I mean Kentucky,
dudes,
yeah,
and just beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, kill or be killed is a thing. Kind of, I mean, anytime I'm thinking about Vietnam, there are people that were, kind of, because my era of Marine, as we were kind of coming up, it was the old salty guys were the Vietnam vets, and my unit had one in particular that was just amazing. I mean, just a Marine's Marine, and we all looked up to that guy, and to say that he had been in the shit would be an absolute understatement. If anybody's interested in kind of a storied unit in the Vietnam era, look up 1st Battalion, 9th Marines. I wouldn't watch the show The Walking Dead for the first 3 years that it was on, because 1-9 are the Walking Dead in my eyes, and who are these usurpers taking the name from these guys? But yeah, we looked up to the guys that had been in Vietnam, and I'll share a story.
I wonder if it's the favorite one that you told. If you don't tell the one that your favorite story that you tell me, then I'm gonna make you tell it. So you tell yours first.
I don't know if this is a favorite story, but it's something that happened to me that really changed my opinion.
This is the one.
I was walking through a grocery store and ran into a buddy of my dad's I've known literally my whole life. And we started talking. At this time, I think I'd probably been back. I'd been out of the service, back from the Gulf War and out of the service for, I don't know, several years. And, we start talking, and this guy saw some serious shit in the Mekong Delta in 67, 68. And so we're talking, and the concept of people thanking us for our service.
Yep.
came up.
Right.
And that's something that's always made me distinctly uncomfortable
Yep.
because I know what the guys did at Guadalcanal. I know what the guys did at Iwo Jima. I know what they did at Tarawa in World War II. I know what they did at Chosun in Korea. I know what those guys did in Quezon in Vietnam. I know what they're in.
And you now know about this story.
Well, and this story happened 1,000 times in Vietnam. It happened 1,000 times in Korea. It happened tens of thousands of times in World War II. And so I know the difference between what those guys did and what we did in the Gulf War, right? And so he's talking about it, and I tell him, man, it just makes me really uncomfortable, because we didn't do what you guys did. You know, we just didn't. And if you're a Gulf War vet and you disagree, I think you need to go have a look at things. And this guy lost his mind on me. And this is a very quiet, mild-mannered dude. Now, he had a reputation throughout our neighborhood as being one of the meanest dudes in the neighborhood. The last guy you wanted to pick a fight
Get off
with.
his fucking lawn.
But he was very quiet.
Yeah.
And suddenly he was not quiet anymore. And he said, when people thank you for your service, you will smile and you will say thank you. And I'm looking at him like, dude, what is your problem? Because, I mean, he's got me by my collar. He's in my face. And he said, when we came home, they fucking spit on us. He said, when they thank you, they're thanking us too. So you will be respectful, you will thank them, and you will go about your fucking day.
Yep.
And I just stood there stunned. What the hell could I say? And so, you know, these are the guys, and these are, you know, it's my personal contact with Vietnam vets, and I can't imagine what they came home to. I would have done terrible things.
Most likely.
If I'd come home to that, I would have done terrible
After what
things.
you'd seen and done.
Well, you know, it's nothing compared to what they saw. and
No,
done.
I'm saying if you were them.
If I were them, yeah.
Right. And what you just went through in Vietnam.
To come home to that,
Like,
I'd have lost it. And so I'm very glad that American sentiment has turned since those days. And because that sentiment has turned, we get a song like this.
yeah.
In 1968, this would have been a protest song calling them murderers.
Right.
And so I'm glad to see this.
For sure. It's a cool ass song.
Cool song, cool subject.
So, cool song, cool subject. It's something that I found kind of interesting about this song, and I don't know if you can relate to it, it's just maybe something I picked up. The sound. Them singing, the way they sang the song. You know what it really reminded me of in a way? Have you ever heard Tenacious D?
No.
Tenacious D is Jack Black's band.
Okay.
Just the way that they were singing the lyrics and the song. Now, Tenacious D, they sing more. It's not cool tunes like this. They're more parodies, right? Funny. Jack Black, right? He's funny. But the kind of rhythm and the way they were singing it seriously reminded me of that same sound.
It's a decent. I mean, it's a good song. It's very rhythmic, very kind of follows the same up and down kind of voice pattern throughout the whole song. But it's effective. It gets the message across.
Yeah.
So and ultimately that's what matters, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about this bourbon. Peated Bourbon from Kings County.
Gotta say, I'm a little disappointed.
Really?
I actually am.
I was literally going to say the exact opposite.
So I get smoke on the nose.
I don't.
I get smoke on the nose.
That's bizarre. Because I really don't.
And I get none of it in the flavor. And somehow it tastes peppery, like too peppery. It is not smooth. which is the exact opposite
Of all the other stuff.
of
that we've had
everything
from
else we've had from them.
them. Right.
And it's that lack of smoothness that has me disappointed. Now, keep in mind that, in my opinion, this is still very damn good. So what we are talking about is the bar for Kings County is up here. This is where their good stuff is. And I'm disappointed because we're just down here.
Right there.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because we had the very first time we had them, the bar was really like here because you're like, you got that off of a van by the river, and then as soon as you tasted it, it went.
Dustin was trying to steal my glass.
Yeah, it was that good. And he threatened to bite me. It was,
I was
fucking weird.
trying.
Yeah. But so here's what I get. On the nose, I get I get kind of a smoky sugar.
I smell the peat. It's there.
It's got a great nose. The nose is just it's awesome. And then you get it's actually pretty, it's not super complex as a flavor.
No, not really.
So I get smoke right up front.
I am getting none of that. That's bizarre. I can smell it, can't taste it.
It's weird because it's like high on my tongue. It's like a sweet smoke rolls into pepper and has a burn finish.
Yep.
Which is what you're calling not smooth.
Yes.
The finish rolls into pepper and then just kind of burns the back of your tongue as it starts to go down. I like it a lot. It's still pretty
I like
good.
it too.
It's pretty good.
This is good stuff.
Yeah.
I would pay significant money for this, $80-90.
I paid $70 for it.
Then it's priced well. If you see it, get it.
And it's a 750 milliliter.
Yeah.
So
this is good. It's just not as good as their straight bourbon, which
bourbon
is unfreaking believable.
yeah, I want to do some more research on how they do this peated bourbon.
They smoke their grains. That's what
You think so?
peated is.
It should be.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guarantee you that's what they do. So, hey, if you enjoyed this video, mash that like button, subscribe to us, click the notification bell so you get alerted when videos like this drop.
Yeah.
And even kind of, special occasion
Off
events.
schedule. We try to drop about 3 a week. If you're a subscriber, you may have noticed a few videos back. We dropped a bunch all at once because we had some bourbon bribes.
People bribed us.
Yep. So as soon as we can drop those, we do. So if you get notifications, you'll get all the times that we drop new stuff.
All right. Get into the comments.
Yeah.
Tell us what country music we need to listen to. Tell us what bourbon we need to drink. And, generally give us feedback. We try to interact with you guys as much as we can. We're starting to get an awful lot of comments, so we really can't. We won't necessarily get to everybody, but we really do put an effort in to interact with you guys. So, hey, till next time.
See you.
See ya.